Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted. We have illustrious Dave here, and again we have our special guest Carrie. You've got a long time of tabletop experience. How long have you been doing the dice chucking?
Since I was 16, and I'm going on 40, believe it or not. So it's been a while.
So like us, you're in the 20 plus years of tabletop. Yeah, so you've spent quite a long time with the actual stuff. So today we're going to talk about the dungeon crawl. So what do you guys feel about it?
You know, I'm very fond of it because, you know, it's how we all start, right?
Yep.
In the beginning, you know, when you first get started, depending on your group or whatever, it is a lot of kick in the door, kill the monster, and take their stuff.
Yep.
I know we kind of poo-poo that, you know, in our videos, but at the end of the day, that's how you kind of get introduced to it.
And regardless of how good your campaign is, no long-standing campaign is going to be able to make it without a really good dungeon crawl. There's times where you're going to storm the castle, you're going to invade the dragon's lair, or, you know, you might even start off with just the simple kobold lair. And I'm sorry, but you can't run into those dens or, you know, groupings without, you know, just having, you know, fight after fight after fight without some kind of role-playing crutch or tool.
Well, let's start off with what is a dungeon crawl? What does that really mean? Does it have to take place in a dungeon?
Nope.
All right, so how do you define a dungeon crawl?
A nice confined space, long, multiple directions to go. You've got to have choices, twists, turns, traps, monsters, and that thing that you need to get at the end of it that makes it all worthwhile.
Okay.
So it's got to be a confined space. There can't just be a quick exit. Can't do a dungeon crawl in the middle of a forest where you can just beat feet east.
Okay.
Although I would actually argue you could do the dungeon crawl in the middle of the forest under certain circumstances. Perhaps it's, you know, a magical forest where, you know, there are certain paths and you can't go off them. So you can turn almost anything into a dungeon crawl. You know, it could be, you know, a labyrinth. It can be an actual dungeon. It could be a tomb.
You could do it in a swamp.
Could be a spaceship.
You could do it in a swamp where the terrain is just so harsh and nasty that leaving the trail could be scarier than whatever is in front of you. But I believe the premise that you're looking at is you can't make an immediate egress. It's that you get into a situation and you either have to snake your way backwards or sally forth. You know, continue on fighting whatever's in front of you. You know, it has that process of having that labyrinthine quality that if you're either being the mean DM and not giving your players any actual map that they could get lost, or if they're not following along with what turns and stuff that they've made, they could absolutely get lost. So
wander in circles, which has happened.
They can wander in circles, or they could just, you know, get set with monster after monster. So having both of those qualities really makes that dungeon crawl, you know, pretty harsh.
So, you know, there's some classics like Tomb of Horrors. You know, I don't know if any of you guys have played through that.
Nope.
I have not, and I think it's one of those things that, as ridiculous and scary as, you know, the legend tells, I think I'd love to give it a shot just once, just be able to say I did it, regardless of the number of deaths that have occurred through.
Well, there's a couple module series, and Tomb of Horrors, Hamlet, and Temple of Elemental Evil, they're all intertwined and interlocked, and I had the privilege of playing through some of those. I did not make it through the Tomb of Horrors. I died. I've lost several characters several different ways in that campaign, and not only that was a fun one for me because I actually got to play an Urger Magi because I had a character die and get reincarnated and came back as Urger Magi.
You've had quite a few really interesting reincarnates.
Yeah, the centaur well, that one was really interesting when it came to the Tomb of Horrors because one of their abilities was to regenerate.
Nice.
So, in the Tomb of Horrors, there's so many things that dismember you. So that comes in really handy. You just had to get the heart back and hold it to you, and it would re-glue on. But, you know, eventually I did go into the sphere of annihilation, and there's no coming back from that.
There's no regenerating that nonsense.
So, yeah.